who put a suit on this fire plug? All right. So Lindsey Graham was standing right next to. Hi, you're watching Houseparks Mega Worldwide. Sure, why not? Lindsey Graham was standing right next to Trump during his South Carolina endeavor, whatever, this little gaggle in a low ceiling, like donor warehouse, wherever he was. And no surprise, because here's the thing. Do I think he's going to ride it out through is he a ride or die? No. I think what Lindsey Graham is going to use as cover, as a beard, if you will, for his, I guess, anti-MAGA malfeasance when he strays from their talking points, is the fact that he was with Trump till the very end. Until Trump decided on his own that he's out, I'm with him, which he's counting on and he knows. Like when you can, it's one of those people who like, he's like a nurse who works for like an old decrepit millionaire, and she just gets breast implants out of nowhere right, on his 96th birthday, and and intends to be by his side till the reading of the will. Right. That's what this reeks of. So anyways, this is Lindsey Graham. Here's why I'm with Trump for 2024. I'm sure it'll be great. And here we go. It's brutally short.
Now, Senator Lindsey Graham, who this weekend was campaigning and endorsing President Trump as the kickoff to the 2024 election cycle has now begun. Senator.
He looks really excited. This is a guy who's like, I can't wait. I set up in my seat. This is going to be great. I'm so glad to be. This is the frown version of Devin Nunes's smile.
I'm good to have you back. All right, before we get to that, so we agree on a lot of issues. We don't always agree. Over the years, we've had our differences. There's every once in a while, I want to reach through this television set and pull you by the tie and kind of like. Yeah.
Oh, this escalated quickly. Both of them are very excited right now. I just want to put you in a zipper hood. I want to buy you an apartment on an island and just live there with you and farm oysters till we're both sunburned. I just want to sit there and put sunscreen on your back while we both listen to Jimmy Buffett songs.
Lindsey, wake up. What are you doing?
Well, is he now in this fantasy? Is he in a bed or a sleeping bag? Sorry. Am I hearing this right? Is he hitting on me? He's hitting on me. This interview's going better than I thought.
And that.
That said, what the fuck? Trump 2024? Are you drunk?
Happened over Christmas. Why? Can you explain to this audience why on earth, knowing that the Republicans were coming into the House?
I don't know. You said something about butt, and then I.
Oh, you can't hear? It's a great setup to a question.
I'm not dodging the question. I can't hear.
I believe you when you can.
You just had. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Yep.
Okay.
By the way, multi-million-dollar setup, and in the same country. So I don't want to hear any shit from people about me getting Philip Ittner on my goddamn show all the way from Ukraine using my little podunk fucking setup. I have a little MacBook Pro and a side monitor that most like 15-year-old gamers would go, oh, and and my little Elgato mic, and these assholes are doing the exact same thing I have to do to make sure so I feel vilified. Vindicated. That's why I don't know why vilified come out of the vilifying, but never mind.
You just had Ronald Reagan on.
No, he didn't. Ronald Reagan's dead. Ronald Reagan has been dead for a while. I don't know if, and his son goes by Ron. We haven't seen that clip because they chose this. I don't know who the fuck he's talking about. Maybe this is Lindsey. This is Lindsey Graham's A Christmas Carol.
Ronald Reagan protected the Defense Department and made it strong. This omnibus bill did suck. You're absolutely right.
This omnibus bill. Yeah, it sucked so bad, I didn't even read the all the letters in its title.
Right. We put $1.7 trillion in a pile. Nobody knew what was in it.
No. Again, we can't do your fucking homework for you. Everybody, of course you know what's in it. You have a giant fucking staff. You've been a senator forever. What do you think changed? They were, it takes a lot of pages to raise most federal organizations, the Defense Department, the fucking Agricultural Department, whatever, about 3%.
3 bad choices. Shut down the government. Wasn't going to do that.
So that's a reminder to you, McCarthy, and the dipshit caucus.
Continuing resolution, which kills the Defense Department. Inflation's at 7%.
Why would it kill the Defense Department? Oh, because it wouldn't include all the extra money that Biden was giving for the Defense Department? Can't say that, though.
I voted for the bill because it increased defense spending by 10%, which means that we actually have more money to defend the nation. I'm hoping my friends in the House can do a better job so I'm not put in this position again. But to my House Republican colleagues, you send a bill over to the Senate that cuts defense, I'll try to kill it.
All right. Can you hear me now, Senator?
Gotcha.
You got me. All right. I love how you kind of heard but didn't even hear. I was going to go a lot harder.
I sort of knew where you were.
Oh, he was going to go a lot harder. But if you can't communicate, there's no. What's a safe word if you can't?
Going, and you're right to be. Listen, I get it. I didn't like it either. Yeah.
I did, but you didn't have to go along with it. You could have worked with the House, but we'll save that for another day.
Yeah.
Let me ask you.
He's like, no, you couldn't have, because they would have ended up cutting the fucking Defense Department, and he wasn't going to do it, and it would collapse, and you're going to shut down the government, and fuck you.
You're with the president this weekend. He kicks off his campaign.
Former president.
We
have a president. I'm just saying.
Endorsement, gets the governor of South Carolina's endorsement. And what
Zing.
you said this weekend was...
What? This is not a good picture. This either looks like both of them are being introduced and have never met each other, or they're both angry about the fact that they should have known each other.
How many times have we heard we like Trump policies, but we want somebody new? And then you said there are no Trump policies without Donald Trump. It's interesting you asked.
Yeah, why are you fucking it up for everybody?
Question, because 2 potential contenders in this nominating process would be Nikki Haley and former.
Yeah, sorry, Republicans are not going to vote for a female president. Just a heads up. Even if she was the most qualified among them ever.
Secretary of State Pompeo, people we both like, and I asked both of them.
No mention of DeSantis. That's interesting.
Same question. What policy differences do you have with President Trump? Neither one of them really had an answer on any policy differences at all. It seems like the Trump agenda is...
Yeah, it's just a matter of, do you like it in orange or beige or tan, I guess. Is this the way we're going?
Is the agenda for the entire Republican Party. So that how will other
why do you what does it matter? Fuck that guy.
Candidates distinguish themselves against Donald Trump if they agree with his policies?
I really don't know.
I have one. One, they won't be fighting a myriad of criminal charges and civil cases during the entire election period, for the most part. And neither one of them have, over 20 credible sexual assault charges against them from a myriad of women. And I'm pretty sure Pompeo and Nikki Haley have never bragged about barging into a Miss Teen USA pageant dressing room, just seeing naked 15-year-old girls and thinking it was cool. So that's it's a mild difference, obviously. Materially in legislation, it won't have any, but on a campaign trail, it might be the other thing. Also, I've seen Trump eat. I've never seen Pompeo or Nikki Haley eat, and it has to be an improvement.
But I do know this. We're lucky as a party to have Mike Pompeo, who was a terrific Secretary of State, Nikki Haley, a strong voice in the UN for American First Agenda, my buddy.
American First.
And love Tim Scott, right? We got Mike Pence, maybe the most decent guy to ever serve in the government.
Oh, that's all right. Well, that's the shots fired. That's over. All right, pack it up. That's everything he says from now on. You're just going to hear like everybody in Bannon world just exploded.
Talking about running for president. Here's why I'm with.
And no mention of DeSantis. Did he drop out and nobody told us? What the fuck?
Trump. I know the downside of Trump, but let me tell you about the
Boy, does he.
side of Trump. There are no Trump policies without Donald Trump.
Yeah, he said that. That's why he said that's this problem with you. You said that already, and he said that you said it, and he said that saying it is part of the problem that he had with you saying it.
You know why NATO gave $431 billion in defense spending increases? Because they thought that Trump really meant it when he said he was going to pull out. You know why the...
Yes, they thought they were going to have to shore up the entire incoming Russian war alone, which anybody could see coming.
We moved the embassy of the United States to Jerusalem. Every president before Trump said, I will do it. But then all the smart people said it will create World War III.
No, they didn't. Also, who gives a fuck?
I said I would do it. I would do it.
Yeah. He said that about Afghanistan, too.
He is responsible for securing the border through his personal will.
I didn't realize that. I thought the wall was a representative of his personal will. It's sort of like Excalibur as a sword. If the right man holds it, then it works. But the wall's just it's just fucking blades of grass. If anybody but Trump is in charge, it just blows in the wind. You go down there. That's why it started blowing over, because he is the soil and the soil is him.
He put tariffs on Chinese products. It's
not his daughters, obviously, or any of his products, but I'm with you. Okay, go ahead.
The crap out of Mexico, and they said, yes, we'll be glad to give you 28,000 troops.
Yeah, that's not how it went.
We'll be glad to keep.
Notice how they didn't put them on their southern border. They put them on the northern border when it's closest, when the problem was already there. Because it wasn't like we were dealing with an influx of Mexican immigrants.
In Mexico, because they thought Trump would put tariffs on Mexican policies. There are
tariffs on Mexican policies. Can I tax dumbassery from another country? Is that possible? Is that even legal?
No Trump policies without the man Donald Trump. And to all these people who are very talented, I don't think you could do what he did, and I want him to have another shot. Unfinished business.
For it. Yeah. This is going to work out very well. Yeah, but we will put a pin in this video for future reference.
Politics is a nasty business.
You know this.
As well as anybody.
Yeah,
and you mentioned a lot of names. You mentioned Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, both from your state of South Carolina. Mike
Favoritism.
Pompeo, Larry Hogan's thinking.
I'm not. Every time you say Mike Pompeo, I hear a p, and then my.
Chris Christie's thinking about it.
Oh, God, please let it be a giant field against Trump when he's saying, like, basically no one dare run against him. And then the field is just as big as last time, only this time he peters out early. And he limps across the finish line after shitting out everybody else and wins like a wedge tiny version of it ultimately, and goes like into the final part of it with just like a totally shattered party. And then they end up figuring out some way to like kick him out, and he has to run as the head of Andrew Yang's part. Oh, there's so much of this I'm looking forward to.
Then you got Governor Glenn Youngkin. I think the rumors are probably true that.
Oh yeah, Youngkin, it's gonna work. Youngkin, not Biden. We'd rather be Youngkin than Biden. I can't wait for the bumper stickers. They're gonna be magic.
He's thinking about it.
He's thinking about it.
Here in Ron DeSantis, he's been a great governor for Florida.
Yes.
Yes.
According to every report, he's thinking about it. The question is, you know, at the end of the day.
So you're saying it's the end of Trump's day? Trump's days are ending? Is that what? Is that? Oh.
Primaries always get nasty.
Really? Really? I don't think so. I think Trump's, you know, he became much more presidential during the time. I think it's going to be, you know, it's going to be like Chip and Dale, after you. No, after you.
Look at your state of South Carolina. You used to be friends with John McCain, who ticked me off more than any one politician in the world, but you were friends with him. Okay. Remember when it got to South Carolina, how vicious that campaign was with George W. Bush? So it always starts out people trying to be friendly. It never ends up that way, does it?
By the way, Kamala Harris had the deepest attempted strike on Biden during the entire thing, ended up being his running mate. What he's basically telling you is that Republicans are not capable of getting over their political grudges or reaching across lines, and they proudly built the entire substructure of their politics on it. So, you know, once fucked, stay fucked.
No, we need to get ready for a real spirited contest now.
Spirited, I like that. Spirited's way better way of putting it than a bunch of jerks talking over each other.
Trump. Now, you mentioned like DeSantis. If you try to tell me that Ron DeSantis is not a good governor in Florida, I'm not going to listen to you. If you try to tell me Mike Pompeo is not qualified to be president, I'm not going to listen to you because I think he is. I am for Trump, not because of the flaws of anybody else. I'm for Donald Trump because I know what I'm going to get. We need somebody that on day one can get this country back on track, that can secure our border and bring order out of chaos.
Oh, I get it. Okay, so Pompeo and Nikki Haley are not sufficiently bigoted enough to be as awful about the border as Lindsey wants them to be. I think is that where we are? Is that, yeah.
Somebody the Russians and the Chinese fear. Somebody that can take.
Well, of all of the people you've mentioned, the Chinese are probably most worried about Pompeo. Although, even by the time he gets in office, if he even won, Biden will have wrecked China for a decade minimum technologically, basically hamstrung the entire the entire CCP. So Pompeo's the least of their worries.
Fight to the terrorist. The Abraham Accords, the result of Donald Trump impressing the Arabs and the Israelis.
Oh, they were impressed. That's good. They were so impressed. They're like, hey, you know those fights we're not having? Yeah, let's keep not doing that. But let's also do business. But wouldn't that be a trade policy and not a peace accord? Shh.
He is the best solution to the problems we face, not because of the flaws of others, but because what I know he can do. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling your listeners right now, when you hear, I like Trump policies, but I'm ready for somebody new, there are no Trump policies without Donald Trump.
He's hammering that. Like, this is, Lindsey thinks that, you know, that this is his wiggle back into, like, the MAGA protectorate. I don't know what it does for him in the rest of, I mean, obviously South Carolina is a red state. He doesn't have much to fear. He could go, you know, he could lay off the gas with Trump and still get through to some degree. But I think he's counting on MAGA to get him over the line for all the independents that are fucking off, and he's never going to get them back. So, and also, kudos to him for being as pro-Ukraine as he is. That's also driving away Republican support from him, you know, from the MAGA world. So he's got to hang on to them. And the only way he can do that is to cling to Trump. Because, the support for Ukraine in and of itself is going to fuck the whole thing.